Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 4th. We are just going to jump right in here, Gemini, and see what is going on for you at this time. And that'll be that. But Gemini, you start off with the Ten of Cups, which is nice. There could definitely be, a fortune after difficulty type of moment coming in for you. It's pretty interesting. I've done almost all these readings for this week so far, and I would say that pretty much everyone has had something about improvements, just general improvements in life, kind of things going their way. This deck is upside down, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm turning them all over. But it seems to be like one of those improvement type weeks, and I love that. So you start off with this Ten of Cups, and Ten of Cups can represent fortune after difficulty, just good things happening for you. It is, of course, the card of a happy home, happy family. So I do feel if you're like dating or if you're in a relationship right now, and that's kind of like the message I'm getting, is that it's more if you're in a relationship right now, things could be going very, very well for you. If you're not in a relationship, I actually feel like you could be attracting something new into your life. We go Temperance, Magician to the Sun. The Magician, to me, is a new beginning. You also have the Ace of Wands, so you kind of have like a lot of clues here that if you're not already in a relationship, you're attracting something new into your life. Could be a fire sign for sure, and I also feel it'll be something that makes you very happy with the Ten of Cups. It's kind of interesting because I get a lot of doubt. You have the Temperance, the Justice card, and the Judgment card. I get a lot of doubts here in this first row, but not like there aren't any cards here that represent doubt, but intuitively, I kind of feel like you could be doubting whether or not you're actually going to find something that makes you happy as far as love is concerned. For others, this could just be you trying to find your happiness in general. And again, I feel like there are some doubts there. The good news is that you have these two cards together, Judgment and Justice. Literally, I feel both these cards are saying like the universe is blessing you with some judgment and justice in your life. It's like the universe is correcting things for you. And that's really, I'm not getting anything else on these two cards. Normally I would get a lot more information here, but I'm just getting like judgment and justice, like the universe is blessing you. And even this card here, the Temperance card, can represent things coming into balance. So I kind of feel there is I wouldn't really call it a karmic correction, because intuitively I don't feel it has anything to do with karma necessarily. I mean, that could be part of it, but I feel it just more like the universe is correcting things, bringing things into balance with the Temperance card. Yeah, for you, and I really like that. The Justice card is kind of like about which side of the scale you put your energy. So I feel you're kind of being rewarded for putting your energy on the right side of the scale. With the Justice card, we can feed the negative, and we're going to get negative. If we feed the positive, we're going to get the positive. And so it's like you're feeding the correct energy. Next, you have this Rainmaker card. I feel like you could be making it rain here, Gemini. So for those of you looking for finances, I feel the work that you're doing is making it rain at this time. For others, I am getting the words ask, but it's kind of popping into my head and saying, like, you need to ask for something. And that's what I feel like this is saying. Like, ask and you shall receive are the words that are kind of popping into my head with this Rainmaker card. So if you want money, I feel like you need to ask for it. If you want love, I feel like you need to like tell the universe that you are like demanding it, right? And a lot of people I think look at the whole demanding something in a bad way, but there's one of my favorite authors, Mitch Horowitz. He writes a lot about like law of attraction and things like that. I was once watching him, and he was talking about, I think he was on a podcast, and I think it was Inspired Nation is what it's called. I'll try to find it and put it down below if I remember. But he was saying how, how there are a lot of stories in like the Bible and things like that. And this is not a religious statement. Someone always takes it there. I'm like, please just take these stories as stories. That's all they are. And, but his point is that, there are a lot of stories out there of a person like demanding something from the universe and then they get it. And I actually don't really remember the point of the story, so sorry. Cliffhanger, right? But I'm going to post it down below. But kind of like the whole point he was making was sometimes we just have to ask the universe for something. Sometimes we just have to demand something and we get it. And I kind of get that for you here. You have the Hangman, the Magician, and the King of Pentacles. The Magician is all about ask and you shall receive, right? He understands that he can manifest great things with his words, but he has to use his words to manifest those things. So I feel like you need to not be afraid to ask. It's funny because I just went on a trip, and while I was on the trip, I was listening to Mitch Horowitz. I was listening to a book about Think and Grow Rich, and in that book, he has broken down Think and Grow Rich into a bunch of sections. And in one of the sections, I can't remember really, but he talks about how like people are sometimes like afraid to ask for what they really want. Part of Think and Grow Rich is you have to ask for what you want, and you cannot be ashamed. You have to ask for everything that you want. If you want $100 million, you need to say that without shame, basically. And because basically the shame or being afraid to ask for what you want is what creates resistance. And I think it's kind of interesting that Napoleon Hill kind of like knew that before people were really talking about it, And I feel that here with the Magician. I also feel that this is kind of like saying there are a lot more tools at your disposal than you realize. Kind of weird because I feel a lot of people are getting this message. I keep getting this message that it's like that people need to realize there are like a million ways to do things. Right now, it really feels to me like the universe is expanding faster than ever and bigger than ever. And I feel like the universe is really trying to get people to realize that if you want to do something, there aren't only like two ways of doing things. There's like a million. And I feel the more we get people to like open up to other ways of doing things like business, love, work, whatever, like the more abundant we're truly going to become because there's going to be more ways to do it, right? So I feel like you need to open up to it. It kind of reminds me of this channel. Again, I don't really have any good examples except for this channel. When I started this channel, there were no tarot readers with over 10,000 subs, right? And now there are tarot readers with almost like 1 million, right? There are some in Spanish-speaking channels with 1 million subs. So it's like, I never thought in a million years when I started this channel that I would have over 10,000 subs, right? And I feel like there are more and more things like that are happening for you in your life where you never really thought that it was possible that it could work in a certain way, but it does, right? And I know I'm speaking kind of generally here, but this could be in love, could be in business, could be in your career, whatever. And the more open you are with that Magician, he has mastery over all the suits. He's pointing to the sun. So the more open you are, the more likely it is that you're going to achieve your sun. You have the Hangman. The Hangman is about gaining enlightenment. The Sun is about gaining enlightenment. So I feel like you have been enlightened to like how you can make something successful. And I would definitely tap into that energy. King of Pentacles is increasing your resources. That's what's coming in for you. Remember, again, I literally feel that you are making it rain at this time, Gemini. And if you aren't, then this reading would say that you could be. So, that could be through starting a business, getting a new job, whatever. If you're thinking about making those changes and you're struggling financially, I would say those changes are going to be very profitable for you. Next, you have this Watchers card. What does it say on there? It says transpersonal on it. I kind of feel like you're just very tapped in this week with this card. You're not the only sign this week that has had something about, like, really maybe connecting with Source, connecting with your ancestors, your guides, like all that other stuff. You have the Six of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Sun here. So, again, clearly a lot of happiness, guidance, joy, good things coming in for you with the Sun. The Sun kind of makes, like, the entire reading positive. The Sun is one of those cards in the tarot where it really kind of levels up the reading. And that's what I feel is going on here. You have the Ace of Wands, passionate new beginning coming in for you. Definitely a lot of abundance coming in this reading. And you have the Six of Swords. I do feel like you're going to have to make a change. Like, if you're wanting to increase your finances, I feel like you're like totally getting a new job. If you're wanting to improve your love life, you're getting a totally new relationship for the most part. It doesn't really, whenever we get the Six of Swords like this, to me, it really says that you're kind of like totally moving on to the other side. The woman and the child in that card, they're sacrificing everything from their life. They're bringing nothing with them across the choppy waters. So it represents like a rite of passage, represents a difficult transition, but it's like on the other side, they're basically hoping for a brighter future, which they are getting. With the Temperance card, are you kidding? You have the Sun. Excuse me. So you have the Sun, definitely a lot of happiness coming in for you. The Sun is kind of like an energy of needing to tap into your inner child. So I feel like it would be a good time for you to kind of like tap into your inner child, basically. With the Justice card, you have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about taking the lead. Two of Wands is also a card of progress as well. So I feel like you're making like a lot of progress. The other interesting thing is, it's interesting that I said with the Magician that, there could be other ways of doing things. He is standing at the top of a castle, And he believes that he has accomplished all that he can accomplish, but really he has the whole world in his hands. It's like there's a lot more to the story. And I get that energy for you where it's like there's a lot more to your story. There's going to be, you haven't figured it all out yet, right? With the Judgment card, you have the Six of Swords again. Very interesting that you have, again, Six of Swords, Sun, Sun. It's like the four corners are kind of matching up here, which I find interesting. But I feel that Judgment card is you being called to something greater, and it's like you're answering the call. With the Hangman, you have the King of Cups. Definitely could have a water sign coming in. If you're looking for love, could be a water sign person. If it's not, look, you have the Rainmaker card, the Ten of Cups. You have all this water here. If you are attracting love, you could be attracting a Rainmaker, someone who makes it rain, just in general. So you could be attracting someone who's very successful. I would say that it's an enlightened person. As well, spiritually, I feel like you have a very strong connection with this person. So again, if you're looking for love, definitely feels like a new person to me. Very deep spiritual connection, I would say. And both people enlightened. I would say that you're both kind of like more spiritually advanced, if that makes sense. I would also say that this person is very emotionally stable. I've talked about this a lot. I do feel that pretty much, so if you're attracting love at this time, that having someone with very strong emotional intelligence makes perfect sense to me. I think that because of the time that we're in right now, emotional intelligence is probably, I think it's always attractive, right, to have someone who's emotionally intelligent, but I feel like it's like more attractive now, if that makes sense as well, because just because of things that are going on, I feel like attracting someone who understands emotional intelligence, probably just like a little extra bonus, right? And I definitely feel you're attracting a person like that. With the Magician, you have the Hierophant. Marriage, could be attracting someone who's marriage material for sure. Really, I feel like this is talking about your connection to source right now. So I would be listening to your dreams, your daydreams, any intuitive hits that you're getting. The Hierophant is the bridge between the universe and the earth, the heavens and the earth, right? And so I feel you are very connected right now, and you could be getting a lot of guidance. You're not the only sign that has had this, so I definitely feel you could be getting a lot of guidance from the other side. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. You've been through it. Again, a lot of people get in the Hermit as well. Again, I feel you have two cards here that represent a rite of passage. Six of Swords twice in the Hermit. And a rite of passage is like going through something difficult to get some sort of reward. So I feel like you are being rewarded for the difficulties that you've been through recently. Very nice. With the Six of Swords, you have the King of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is like hard work, putting in the work. The King of Swords is you. I feel like it's you showing up in a very strong position here. Puts you in a position of power and strength. I would make sure to balance things out with that Two of Pentacles. I feel really good about this reading. Sometimes I think when we feel good, we just want to like work. Or sometimes like in business, for example, when we find a lot of success, I think we just want to work and create more success. Nothing wrong with that. I would just make sure you're not burning yourself out. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands. Crazy amount of repeating cards here in your reading. So whenever I get a lot of repeating cards in a reading like this, to me, it's just the universe is kind of like saying, I meant what I said. It's like the universe is kind of solidifying the message and being like, yes, this is the right path, or you're doing the right things. With the Sun, you have the Seven of Cups. The Sun is enlightenment. As I've said in the past, the Sun can really shine a light on something that we should pay attention to. And so sometimes I think we we develop like a small obsession. And I'm not referring to an obsession like in a bad way. I'm referring to an obsession like maybe we become obsessed with a business idea. The Seven of Cups is all the what ifs. Whenever I get a reading like this, Sun twice, Six of Swords twice, Sun with the Seven of Cups, it's basically the universe might be saying, hey, you need to go start this business, or you need to go do this new thing. And the Seven of Cups is like all the worries. So I feel like this reading is saying, let go of the worries, let go of the fears, move towards enlightenment, right? Let's see. Top row outcome, you have the High Priestess. Trust your intuition. Do you have the High Priestess twice? No. So trust your intuition at this time. I also feel it would be a really good time for you to take a balanced approach. She is sitting in the middle of the card, and she's also sitting between the two pillars there, the B and the J, and it can represent her kind of needing to, looking at the light and the dark. That's not really what the two pillars necessarily represent all the time, but in your situation, I kind of feel like that's what it's saying. I also feel like it's saying the sky's the limit. There's no roof over her head on the High Priestess, and it kind of says that there's like unlimited potential to what you can create. Middle row, you have the world ending cycles, but I also feel like you're accomplishing a lot right now. So I just feel like that's an accomplishment. Bottom